What did you learn from your first girlfriend/boyfriend? Sometimes the way people behave in relationships have nothing to do with you or me in this sense. I dated a girl who went from guy to guy to guy, and I realized that I was a small bump on a road to her finding out who she is and dealing with the things she needs to grow up and be a beautiful person. I've done the same to women. I hope this makes sense. Yup, my second ex was this person. She'd never been without a boyfriend for more than a couple of months. Since she was 14, she just didn't know how to function as a single person, which is kinda sad in a way. Growing up is a trippy thing. Without any guidance in life, it can take a while to figure out who you want to be. Talking about myself there. Teenage love is crap. I'm into that dude. I hang out with the boys, hit the gym, and make time for my hobbies, rather than wear myself out trying to get into a relationship. At this point in my life, it's just unnecessary. If you gotta go far out your way to fit love into your life, the truth becomes obvious that it doesn't actually fit at all and was never meant to. It takes some people a damn lifetime of misery to figure that one out. Some people never do and start waking up every day to a Talking Heads song. Getting into a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship is the worst reason to be in a relationship. Likewise, liking someone because they like you is the worst reason to like someone. You want to date a person, not their company. Yeah, a hard lesson I needed to learn and stop doing. It's so easy to want to be loved by someone and just kinda force yourself to forget the obvious reasons why you should break up. Damn, okay, so go ahead and just attack me all personally, crap man. I'll give 2 lessons. 1. That feelings will fade away, and what takes a relationship to be strong and healthy is the everyday conscious commitment to love one another. We've been together for almost 8 years and have crossed various stages in our lives since high school, college, and we are still together as she studies for med school and I as I pursue my career as an accountant. We wouldn't last this long if it's just due to being excited for each other, which we actually still are, haha, but it's because of always making time and being committed to support each other, no matter how busy we are, while still giving enough space to. Consistent small things are far more valuable than big monthsary or anniversary efforts. We get so busy and stressed by our own individual career paths, but we always find a way to squeeze in our love, either through a sweet long message or even just a simple cup of coffee and staying up late. Love is consistency in small efforts, not by giving grand things that are just once in a blue moon. Well, if your relationship didn't get crushed by med school, I think you're set. Best wishes. Bruh, if med school don't crush that, then it's pretty much on Nokia phone level toughness. That you should never take any relationship for granted. You always need to make efforts and work towards keeping a happy relationship with the ones you love. Didn't do it back then, at least after some years, but at least it taught me how to do it for future relationships, so I guess that's nice. I also learned that being in a happy relationship means that you, as well as your partner, need to make compromises from time to time, because nobody is always on the same page with everything. But in the end of the day, if you want to be a team, you need to make it work. Once somebody is not willing to do that, the relationship is going down the drain. First relationship is always a learning process, I guess. Life is a learning process. We need to learn who we are and love who we are. Only then can we learn to love others and see them for who they really are. It hurts, but it is worth it. Lust is very easy to confuse with love. My first girlfriend was not a bad person by any means, but looking back we were insanely incompatible and had little in common besides a sense of humor. But at the time, 16, I thought I had found the girl I was going to marry someday. Was devastated when we broke up, even though I was the one that did it, but 3 weeks later I was right as rain. Sex is a powerful motivating force, especially when you stop getting it. First serious relationship was not good and needed to end, but it was a slow death of on again off again, because we were stupid and horny. Yeah. After my first relationship ended, I thought I missed her terribly. Once I realized that actually it was only the sexual aspect I missed, it helped me get over her a lot faster. A long list of what not to put up with. The best apology is changed behavior. How to stand up for myself. That I should stand up for myself. that you can't change someone who doesn't want to change themselves. Don't ignore red flags. Yes, the best apology is changed behavior. I could not agree with this more. But you should never change yourself for someone who doesn't want to forgive you. It won't end well. A few things. 1. You can love someone, but not want to make a lifelong commitment to them. 2. You absolutely have to be on the same page as far as life goals goes. 3. You can remain friends with a person, even if a relationship doesn't work out. I'm still good friends with my HS/college boyfriend 30 plus years later, even though our relationship didn't work out. He's smart, funny and a great guy, but he wasn't the guy for me. He could never get his crap together back in the day and still hasn't. Not a go-getter, not ambitious, no real life plan. I was looking for a partner in my goals, not someone to bring along for the ride. But never forget it takes two for any relationship to work, even if it's not romantic. Being cheated on can be funny as well as hurtful. A friend of mine learned to play my girlfriend's favorite song on his guitar, Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. Allegedly at the end of the song he looked into her eyes and said, "Well, kiss me." She subsequently kissed and shagged him. That was the most cringe crap I'd ever heard. Even at the tender age of 16, that definitely softened the blow. She lost your respect in multiple ways, didn't she? I mean, yeah, it's a terrible song. She dumped me for not being more aggressive about pursuing sex. When we first got into a relationship, she explicitly said she didn't want to have sex for 1 year. I learned that this is fine with me. I didn't want to be more aggressive about pursuing sex, nor do I want to be more aggressive now. I wonder if perhaps she imposed that condition to make herself feel she was in a position of power, and when you didn't give her repeated opportunities to exercise that power, she didn't see any point in the relationship. She sounds like she learned about how to deal with men from r/female editing strategy. It totally sounds like I'm in that sub when I read this. I'm gonna type it in caps because IDK how to bold it in my phone. Never stop being yourself. And I mean not in the physical sense. When you admire someone you start somehow becoming like them, adapting their interests and hobbies, so you feel more connected to them, etc. But don't let it change you completely because 1. You'll be completely someone else after some time in the relationship and not the person who they fell in love with. 2. You won't know what to do after it ends. You'll just forget what you used to do to have fun. And it kinda sucks big time. 2 asterisks each side. How important pillow talk is. It takes little effort and seems minuscule, but it can mean a lot to the other person and really strengthen your connection with the other person, which really messes with the whole point of a casual hookup. I feel like a lot of people should ask for committed relationship roleplay instead. Escorts have girlfriend and boyfriend experiences. That you don't have to hate your ex. I hate this narrative that social media creates. We are not friends, but I'd say hi if I ever saw him in the street, and I like to hear that he's doing well. No hard feelings, you know? It was good while it lasted. I agree. What I wasn't really prepared for was that contact seems to end quite abruptly when either party moves on. I guess nobody wants their partner's ex in their life, so, in my experience, it's usually the complete end of that relationship. I cheated on my first girlfriend. I regretted it thoroughly and have never done it since, nor will I ever do it again. I came to the conclusion that cheating on your partner does not make you unfaithful, it makes you dishonorable, and that's far worse. I have a very detailed idea in my mind about what it means to be an honorable person, and this is where that idea first took root. Good on you for learning that lesson early. I despise cheaters, but there are a few, like you it seems, that can learn from their mistakes. Someone once asked me how I was so sure I would never cheat on anyone, and my response was, whenever I look into a mirror, I want to see someone that is deserving of being loved. I believe when you have cheated, anytime your so says they love you after that is a lie, because they don't know who you really are. And that would be, as you put it, dishonorable. I think this is unnecessarily judgmental. There aren't good people and bad people. There's just people who sometimes make bad decisions. Mistreating people is wrong, but I don't believe in absolutes about this topic. People can mature and grow. No matter how perfect you think things are going, she says she's happy and likes you. You're happy and really like her. she can ghost you, and you'll be left not knowing what you did wrong. Ghosting seems to be more common in women. Just saying, guys, don't get the pitchforks. I wonder why this is. Maybe the abundance of men in online dating makes them like this, and this attitude carries into their personal lives. This really seems to be an issue affecting women more. I've heard way too many stories of guys being left hanging, and my personal experience is the same. Generally, on average, women feel that rejecting or breaking up with a guy will put them in physical danger. This is sometimes completely true, so the safest option in their minds is to disappear. That, or the fact that women in general are conditioned to not be as confrontational. Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. Not to get too attached to the family story. We were together for 2 years. The family treated me well, and as a sweet, quiet kid they never had any issues with me. We were on good terms, and they referred to me as their second daughter. My ex, however, had a lot of issues and they were constantly in and out of psych hospitals. On more than one occasion I would be put into the situation where I needed to call an ambulance for them and contact the parents. The day we broke up, this was no different. We had just ended things via text message and I knew it wasn't being handled well. I was already on the line with the police when they texted me back, confirming the suspicion. Messaged their mom that police were on the way because my ex was threatening to kill themselves. Expected the usual okay thank you, but this time I got a what the hell is wrong with you? Never contact us again. I never did. I found out later that my ex had blamed a lot of stuff on me and that they had told their parents I was abusing them. Situations I was put in says otherwise, but I never argued it, never wanted to create more drama. I just hope that the family found out the truth later on. Always be friendly with them, but always assume the relationship will be short-lived. Sometimes you can fall in love with the very first person you date. I was a real dreamboat and was like, nope, this is just puppy love because he's my first and I don't know what actual love is yet. Fast forward 6 years after we'd gone on to date other people for a while, we ended up hanging out again and the connection was still there. I'm so in love with him and I realize I fell in love with him that first time we dated. Everyone after was just kind of substandard by comparison. Most of them genuinely sweet guys. Not their fault. Anyway, I don't regret our time apart, as we both had a lot of growing and maturing to do. I'm just so glad we ended up back together. We are married now and expecting our first child to be delivered by induction tomorrow. He's my best friend. 3. Why did you break up the first time? How were you reunited later? Honestly, we were just very young. We were freshmen in high school the first time we dated, and we were together about 8 months. We really just didn't know how to be in a relationship. I was way too needy, and he wasn't sure how to communicate. He started avoiding me because he wasn't sure how to tell me he still needed time to himself, and instead of just asking him what was wrong, I broke it off via text message. Cringe. I spent the next few years regretting it. I joke that I grieved the end of the relationship longer than the relationship even lasted. For your second question, we had the same friend group, so after a while we were able to heal and be friends again. We hung out on and off for the next few years, but it wasn't until I started college that we really started hanging out daily again. Most of our friends had moved out of state for college and only 3 of us stayed behind. The 3 of us hung out almost daily. Our third friend was actually best man at the wedding. Haha. Ironically, most of our conversations during that time revolved around being tired of relationships because they never went anywhere and how neither of us wanted to date again unless we were very seriously pursuing marriage/a lifelong commitment. I think we would have started dating sooner if we weren't both so aware of the fact that we'd been bashing relationships to one another for most of the spring.